Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our weekly political program on Lagos television, The Pendulum. I am Ajibola Ojeshola. We are back as usual to discuss a variety of issues in the polity. You will recall that the Independent National Electoral Commission had about 16 by-elections in different states of the federation. As it was expected, the ruling party, which is the APC, won about 12 seats in all of those 16. Of course, PDP was able to take one, ABGA and NMPP. And there are different reactions to what actually transpired during this election. Of course, we saw voter apathy, vote buying, and a bit of violence in some parts of the country. So this afternoon, we'll be looking at taking a critical look at the assessment of that by-election conducted by INEC. We'll also be looking at the continuous voter registration exercise and, of course, touch a bit on some other development in the polity. But first of all, we'll be taking a very short break at this moment to bring you the summary of political activities in the country. Do stay with us. In case you just joined us, you're watching The Pendulum on Lagos television. That was a summary of political activities in the country. And just before that break, I did say that we'll be looking at the just concluded by-elections in about 16 constituencies in different parts of the country. We'll also assess critically the performance of the Independent National Electoral Commission, voter apathy, and how the political class actually encouraged the electorate to trade their vote. We'll also look at the continuous voter registration exercise, of course, which will give eligible voters who were 16 last year and have clocked 18 this year the opportunity to register for them to be able to participate in the 2027 general elections. This afternoon on the program, we'll be looking at all these issues and, of course, find ways of how we can make the political process in the country better than what it is presently. We have right here in the studio with us Dr. Akeem Adetubobo. Is an APC chieftain and a public affairs analyst. It's a pleasure to have you this afternoon.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so I'm sure you must have taken your time to study what transpired during that by-elections. It took place in about 16 constituencies, and at the end of the exercise, the ruling party, which is the APC, was able to take about 12 seats or thereabouts. But before we talk about the performance of the ruling party, which is the APC, let's critically assess the performance of INEC with the conduct of that election, the arrival of materials to each polling booth in those constituencies. What percentage would you give to INEC in terms of performance as regards the just concluded by-elections in different parts of the country?
They must have scored over 80%. They could have been about 1995, but considering that it's just a by-election, and we only have them in about 60 AGA out of the 744 AGA. So, but each day, here and there are a little bit of each late arrival of materials, maybe 1 hour delay. Apart from that, they did well.
Well, one would have expected that INEC ought to have overcome the problem of late arrival of materials, and Beavers equally messed up this particular election, and different players in the political sector actually complained that in most parts of these constituencies, Beavers did not work at all, and that, of course, is making them doubt the integrity of our elections.
Yeah, no, basically, Beavers actually is highly reliant on the network. And in a situation whereby the network is so terrible, and that's why the constitution has given a provision that you can actually do manual or Beavers. And Beavers is actually the best way to go. But it's a continuous process, and they shouldn't sit on their horse. They should be able to do better.
All right, I'm going to liken what happened to what we also experienced during the local government election in Lagos State. The turnout was quite poor, and people were not really interested in deciding who does what or not regarding that election. And in most parts of these constituencies, Nigerians did not turn out, and of course, making it difficult for them to come and exercise their franchise as enshrined in the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. What do you think is actually causing this disconnect between the people and the political class? People are not interested again in any of these elections.
Yeah, basically, normally the by-elections and the local government elections, people don't take them serious, as they would naturally take the general elections naturally. Be it as it may, is a civil responsibility. People should be more responsible. And you see, down south, when you compare our political literacy with the up north, you realize that we are far apart. Look at the turnout in the north, despite the insurgency. Yeah. They still came out en masse. So we should be seen, we will be seen to be doing more of advocacy for the electorate, to see it as a social responsibility. It's about the vote is about the only voice to determine who rules them. And things have changed from the normal, whereby if you don't vote, there's a lot of ballot stealing or the other. The Beavers has actually come out so their vote will actually count. So they must be seen to come out and do their civil responsibility.
Okay, is it not amazing that with the level of our sophistication here and exposure, people will not show interest in elections such as local government election? Local government is the closest arm of government to the people, and the one that we had, where people elected some members of houses of assembly as well as members of House of Reps and senators. Those are the lawmakers that are expected to make laws that will impact the people, and the people are not even showing interest. So how then do you question your representative as to what is bringing on board in terms of dividend of democracy?
As a matter of fact, you see, that's the problem we have in the South. Our political awareness is so low, despite the fact that we are actually well read. And the more we get read, the more we were well enlightened, that's the more we get away from our political responsibility, which is so bad. I know that we've been doing a lot of work to raise now that the INEC has started their online registration. There has been a lot of sensitization, a lot of mass under the ground across the 57 SCDA, 37 SCDA and 28 GA to make sure that people come out and we have a difference in the turnout.
So for political parties like yours, which is APC, we also have PDP, Labour, and the rest of them, and political gladiators like you, what do you think you can also actually do alongside the National Orientation Agency to change the perception of people thinking that, oh, even if I vote, my vote is not going to count?
Yeah, we are doing a lot. You know, highly an advocacy group, actually, you guys should talk. And we are across the station, we have all the critical stakeholders as directorate, and they are actually moving down to the members to sensitize them, to let them understand that the election has changed. We are in a different millennium now that your vote counts, and they should come out and exercise their franchise.
Okay, we hope that things will change with this campaign, like you rightly mentioned. But then we also witness high volume of voter buying. What do you call it now? Some infrastructure during the election. In fact, there was a video that I saw wherein a particular candidate was sharing money openly, and it happened elsewhere in the country. Is it that the people do not know the value of their votes, and then why are the political class always luring people with money, all in the bid to get their votes?
Well, it's so unfortunate, and but if you look at it, I must say that this has actually reduced drastically compared to the last 3-cycle election that we have had, and vote buying has actually reduced, but it's still there. It's just a culture which we must move away. It's a high level of impunity, and that's part of what we are advocacy doing, that let your vote. Your vote is your mandate. Your vote is your voice. So don't collect any money that you spend within one day, and you not be able to choose the right leader to take the country out of the economy.
But the electorate will not collect money if the politicians are not sharing money. Why are the politicians sharing money? If you are so certain that your party is good, or you are bringing something good on board to impact the lives of the people, then why would you need to share money?
I think those that share money is just because they refuse to do their groundwork, the advocacy to mobilize ab initio, to mobilize people ab initio, and that they have not been adding value. But in our party, in APC, we have been adding value to the electorate.
Are you saying that APC does not do vote buying as well?
You won't see us doing that. You will.
Dr. Ali Tubobo, there were elections in some part of the country, and the APC took part in these elections.
Yes.
And some of your candidates shared money. We saw the videos.
No, maybe PDP.
Maybe you didn't see it.
Maybe PDP.
Maybe you didn't see it. I'm a journalist and I saw it.
Okay, maybe. If I see, I will.
Okay, so enough of that by-election now. We know that APC won 12 out of the 16 constituency votes. So what is the implication of this ahead of 2027 for the party? And then we can hardly see the impact of PDP and the new baby now, which is a coalition party. ADC was nowhere to be found.
Well, this by-election is a good indication to what you have.
Or it's a rehearsal for 2027.
For 2027. Give or take 60-70% rehearsal for this 2027. And the face to the ADC too. If you look at all the 16 constituencies where they had the by-election, none of the ADC shifting won even the local, the polling booth. That shows how relevant or irrelevant they could be.
But the party is still new compared to your own, and they're still trying to gather their act together.
When you say the party is new, these are political gladiators that have been in the stage of politics over several decades. So it shows that Yorùbá sọ máa sọ pé omi ti tán lẹ́yìn ẹja wọn. They don't have the substance to win any election.
You're saying that
look at
Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, former vice president, does not have political value. The former governor of Osun State, Rauf Aregbesola, the former Senate president, David Mark, former River State governor, Rotimi Amechi. These are political bigwigs.
You see, the only thing you evaluate any...
Or you are overrating your party.
The only way you evaluate any serious-minded politician is how do they win election. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar had been seriously losing the elections. He had contested over 5 times, and he has been losing. You see, and Ralph Aregbesola, if you look at him very critically, you see, you might be climbing on somebody's back, and you think you're an hero. Now he's there.
Yeah, but politics is not played in isolation.
Yes. Politics is not playing there. So he's there to test the water, and he's in the water already.
If these people do not have any political value or strength, why were they members of your party then? What value did you see in them?
You see, when you are within a particular fold, your strength, though might be marginal, who seems to be like hipped up. But let me use the election result. Look at the performance of APC in Adamawa. That's the base of Atiku.
Okay.
Last year, the 2023 general election, the margin was a bit sizable.
Yeah, but the president also lost in Lagos, which is his base.
No, let's take it one by one.
Okay.
And you see, now, the by-election, APC won, despite the fact that they have the governor. Mm-hmm. That's an indication of who Alhaji Atiku is, Abubakar Atiku is. And the progression of APC from 2023 election and this by-election, and how you can reflect it to 2027 election. Look at Ogun State, Remo constituency. That was the stronghold of PDP gubernatorial candidate. They led us heavily in that area. Look at the margin we had now. That's the progressive indication. Look at Kano. By the time you combine the two constituencies, the two AGA that they had, the result, the margin that NAPC led the APC was so marginal compared to 2023 election. And Kwankwaso is still coming into our fold.
That is speculative.
No, it's not speculative.
We don't have the facts.
We never mind.
We don't have the facts.
Okay, so maybe I shouldn't even be telling you, but if you see in the next 2 months, it's in our fold already. We are just dotting the book. So basically, APC is the party to beat. The ADC coalition, yes, they are trying their bit, and they are trying to put us on our feet to make sure we win convincingly. That's the only thing they are doing to us.
But your party appears to be unsettled because of the coalition.
No, they are just putting us on our feet to make sure we win convincingly. Not that we are not in any doubt that we are going to win the 2027 election. We know what we have going in the background.
Did you see the number of people that turned out to welcome Rotimi Amechi when it was in Port Harcourt?
What's the percentage of the few people that came compared to the number of people that will vote on in River State? What's the percentage? And most of them are being paid to come out.
Just like your party will do as well.
We won't do that.
You don't rent crowd?
We don't do that. We have the structures across the wards.
But many would doubt the structural thing that you're claiming.
Okay,
That the APC
let me give you.
has. Let's talk about the 2023 presidential election,
Yeah.
wherein the sitting president now lost in his base, Lagos rather, and that was shocking for many people.
Well, that was very unfortunate. It was very unfortunate, and the loss is just basically because there was a bit of apathy within our party, and most of the party faithfuls were a bit critical about our president then. But now they have seen the stuff is made of. And you see, then the same thing, most of the political, apathy, basic vote apathy amongst the Yorubas. Actually, most of the registered voters in Lagos State, especially the Yorubas origin, didn't go out to vote. And that was basically because of political illiteracy. So, but everybody has seen their mistake, and then more importantly, most of our youths were early politically naive. And they've seen their mistakes. And they have seen that they went the wrong route. So they are coming back, and they have come back, and they are working for the party. There's no other option than APC. So you see a very 360-degree turnaround in the electoral fortune.
Okay, is it that the APC is overrating itself? Because we have had a different fora that some other governors are planning to leave the APC for the new bride, which is the ADC.
Yes, they are here to come out. They are here to move. There's no sensible politician, a sensible leader, a sensible governor that will want to leave certainty for uncertainty.
What's the certainty here?
The certainty is that we are going to win. And we are winning.
That's not true.
Okay,
Nigerians will determine who is going to win the election.
Do you want me to substantiate?
So the votes have not been counted. The votes have not been cast.
Do you want me to substantiate?
Please do.
Okay.
And make it scientific.
Okay, let me put it this way. You see, this is our government, and we have over 27 governors in APC now, and more are still coming. We have the ADC, the only feasible opposition, has less than 27 National Assembly members. And you see, all these people will go back to their constituency to add value. In Lagos, APC president, and they did a mistake for themselves. They shoot themselves in the legs. When the president was calling for a coalition government, they refused the appointment. Now, we only have APC members in appointment.
And PDP?
Less in federal appointment?
Yes.
Very few of them.
Who is the minister of the FCT? Wike is a member. Okay.
So
Wike is a member of your party.
Wait. Okay. Wait. Even if he has not declared his membership of APC, he will not go and work for another party apart from APC. And how his followers are working for APC. Most of his followers have moved into APC. And we know why he's still in PDP. And that's why you see all of them moving away from PDP to ADC. Just because of it.
All right, enough of politics. We'll see how things is going to pan out as we approach 2027 general elections. Let's talk about the quest in certain quarters for the creation of more states. We know there are starting states in this country that can barely survive on their own, except they get allocations from the federal government. So this quest in some quarters for the creation of more states, how does it come to you?
Yeah, I take it in mixed feelings. Is political expectation. We should expect it. You see, the kind of politics we play, everybody wants to lead. Everybody wants to draw development into the domain. Like the Ijebu state now, Ijebu have been clamoring for Ijebu state. So and they have the human resources to drive it. And more importantly, what drives any state is the human resources.
What about the material? What about the viability of the states when they are created?
The human resources will create the viability, will create partnership, will ensure that there's enough fund locally, internationally, to drive whatever they. And of course, we have mineral resources to make sure that the state is
that is for Ijebu State.
Yes.
That is for Ijebu State.
For Ijebu
What about those other parts of the country that are not as viable as Ogun State?
Yes, you see, the truth about it is that the state creation would have been much easier under a military fiat. So it could be a very difficult one under a political.
Because people will read meanings to it.
Because as you want to, you can't please
everybody.
So from what we have seen now, they have nominated two from each of the geopolitical zones. And two is so much. You understand? But at least it must be balanced. And a lot of people will still feel disemphasized, that they are not. So that's the problem. Will they fly to? But I know that looking at the body language of the president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is desirous of
creating more states,
which would help us to drive governance better to the grassroots, more to the good people. And that's why he believes in more. And that's why we are the bill for the 37 SCDA has been passed in the House of Assembly now. Will be moved to the Senate.
Instead of creating more states, can't we go back to regionalism?
Yeah, that's part of the structural reform that has been demanded, that has been advocated.
The constitutional reform?
Yes, that let's do more of regionalism. Yes, let's see the dynamics. But even creating more states, then we can still now even get to regional government, whereby the federal is a bit more weakened and the regional gets there strengthened, and which could actually also help to develop each of the region, so that no region is overtly reliant on the federal might.
But have we thought about the cost implication of all this? If we are creating more state now, we are going to have more governors, more members of houses of assembly, more members of House of Reps, and more senators.
Yes, that's you see.
And that will increase the cost of governance, which we are complaining already that it's too high.
Yeah, you see, but in a way, that's why you see Nigerian economy defy most economy laws. Those in those realms actually add value to their constituents, one way or the other. You have seen, at least in our own party, in the 12 years of APC, you've seen high-level empowerment.
Empowerment of who? Do you know the purchasing power of Nigerians today? Do you know that Nigerians are hungry? Do you know that people are barely surviving? That's the reality on the streets of Nigeria.
Yes.
Except we want to say otherwise.
No, let me. That's something. That what you just raised is so good. You see, no pain, no gain. The president has been very audacious with three major reform policies. Marginalization of the dual exchange rates, the FS policy, and the tax reforms. These two, removal of subsidy, you understand, there's no way that we can't be living on subsidized economy, everything, and we are not producing. In 1976,
Are the economies of developed world not subsidized? They subsidize sometimes housing, electricity, and some other basic needs of the people.
you see, when you are subsidizing and they are paying their tax, the balance is out. How many Nigerians pay tax? And that's why, you see, what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has to do, those three reforms, by the time the tax reform kick off in the next 4 months, you realize that most of these things, the government will have more money. And he needed to do that. Nobody is complaining.
The government already has more money. That was confirmed by Mr. President himself, because we've been able to save certain amount of money from the removal of subsidy. But the money is not reflecting on the living standards of the people.
Yeah, you see that.
Instead of it reflecting, the political class are the one enjoying.
No, you see, our party, you know what we have done in our party now? You see, the president have said that all the governors, that the citizens should go and meet their governors and should go and meet the local government chairman. Because the allocation the local government chairman are now having as like quadrupled. And the newly elected local government that were sworn in a couple of weeks had gone through some serious level seminars, whereby even the EFCC were invited to talk to them, the ICPC were invited to talk to them. Why? So that they will know that they don't have immunity, and that the citizen has also been sensitized that go out and probe your local government share. They have the funds, so, and they have been advised that they must do programs. They must balance the infrastructure program with lot of citizen empowerment programs, so that the whole hardship could be relieved.
All right, interesting conversation with Dr. Hakeem Adetubowo so far on the Pendulum. We'll be going on a very short break at this moment to bring you the soundbite of the week. When we come back, the conversation will continue.
Has written a new chapter in our democratic story. The victory did not come by chance. It is the result of dedication. To the electorate, I extend our deep appreciation for displaying political maturity and a high sense of civic responsibility.
It's still our weekly political program on Lagos television, The Pendulum, and we still have in the studio Dr. Hakeem Adetubowo, an APC chieftain and a public affairs analyst, and together we've been looking at the just concluded by-elections in some parts of the country, as well as the state of the polity generally, talking about some of the policies of the Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration, as well as the performance of the ruling party at the just concluded by-election. Now we're shifting gears to the continuous voter registration exercise and what we need to do to encourage those who are already 18 years and above to come out and ensure that they participate in this exercise, which is being conducted by the Independent National Electoral Commission. Okay, Dr. Adetubowo, fortunately for some people, during the 2023 general elections, they were not up to 18. Now some people are 18 and some are even above 18. For this continuous voter registration exercise, what advice would you give to INEC as the independent electoral body of the country, and what advice would you give to the people as well as parents whose children or child are already 18 years?
Yeah, I'll start with the youth.
Okay.
They form greater part of the demographic
Of the population.
the population, and those that were 14 in 2023 should be about 18 now, and that's the beginning of their responsibility to the nation, being able to have their PVC. That's the first step for them to the first responsibility as an adult. So they should go out and get their PVC. That makes them an adult. That makes them a responsible Nigerian. And last 2023 election, a lot of the youth woke up late.
They were actually up on the social media,
That's why.
but physically they were not.
They woke up late. They felt it was just ranting on the social media that would get them the vote. So it was almost when the registration was rounding up and they started running. So they shouldn't be seen. They shouldn't be caught in that web again. So they should go out and go and register. And now again, it's much better. The online and the physical registration are going pari passu. So nobody has an excuse
Not to register.
not to register. And beyond registration, because beyond registration, we realize that only 25% of the registered voters turn out to vote. So we will be doing a lot of advocacy to let people understand that they vote. With the technology the youth have keyed into, and INEC too are keying into it with the Bibles, your vote count. And they should be able to use that. That's the only voice they have to determine their future, to determine which type of education, which type of quality education they have, to determine which type of transportation they have, to determine which type of infrastructure they have. But if they look back with the hindsight, they will see that there's no other party, apart from our party, APC, that does so much for Nigeria in the space of 12 years.
Dr. Aletibo, this is not a platform for campaign. If you want to campaign, you have to pay. So we are creating equal opportunities for all political parties on this station. So that's your message for the youth. Like you rightly said, they form the larger chunk of the population of Nigeria, and there is need for them to express or show interest in some of the political development in the country. So on the part of INEC, what should INEC do to ensure that people actually participate effectively in this continuous voter registration exercise?
They should do more of advocacy. They're not doing enough. And we realize that in Lagos, mostly members of APC are actually helping them with that advocacy. You have not seen INEC on the social media, on the national dailies, on radios, to do more advocacy.
Awareness.
So that people, and they should let them know that 18, let them understand that you are 18, you are an adult. That's your first civic responsibility as an adult. Let them know the importance, why they should do it. You understand? Then talk to the parents too, that they should guide their parents. So these are their children to be responsible and push them to go and register. And they should also make sure that they should leave their domain, their headquarters. They should make it easier for this, because the demography we are targeting are youth, and we know where they are. They are in the tertiary institutions. So they should also have a location based, a location close to some of these tertiary schools, so we can make it easier for them
To register.
So that nobody will have any complaint that, oh, it's too cumbersome for us to do. And they should make the process seamless.
Okay, so much have been said about INEC and the need for our youth to come out and ensure that they register for this continuous voters registration exercise. What should be the role of CDCs, CDAs, political parties, as well as those people at the State House of Assembly level, at the National Assembly level? Can they also play any significant role in ensuring that people actually come out very well and participate in this exercise?
Yes, those elected people are critical stakeholders, and they are not relying on their own not to add value to the process and not to encourage people to. We know what we have been doing in our party.
I'm not a member of your party,
yes,
so I wouldn't know.
Yes, we know. That's why I said we know what we have been doing. If all the critical stakeholders, we know how much we have pushed everybody to ensure that we do enough of sensitization. We talk to the market women, we talk to the CDC, we are talking to the artisans, the critical stakeholders that have that demography that we are trying to target. There at the same time too, there are a lot of people. Part of the problem we had then is, you see, a lot of people would have moved relocation.
Okay.
So we are also targeting them at the market because they would have, and you see them coming, leaving their base, coming to sleep over where
They registered.
We want to reduce that as much as possible.
What can INEC do about this?
Yeah, that's part of the criteria for
The continuous voter registration exercise. Exactly. So you can actually correct your information.
Exactly.
Your address.
You can move your. There are three basically four categories. One, those that are just getting matured to
18
years old. Those whose PVC had been
damaged
defaced,
or destroyed.
You understand, or lost. Those that have changed location, either state, whether you were at a particular state and you have moved to another state. So those categories are those people that are affected and must go and vote so that you can have a seamless electoral procedure come 2027, February, March.
All right, we must thank you very much, Dr. Akeem Adetubobo, an APC chieftain, as well as a public affairs analyst, for finding time to be with us on the Pendulum this week to speak on the just concluded by-elections in the country. And we also spoke about the continuous voter registration exercise, calling on every eligible Nigerians to please come out and ensure that they participate effectively in this exercise of INEC. You can only question those that are your governors, members of National Assembly, members of state assemblies. If you participate in the electoral process without your PVC, you cannot vote. And your PVC is like an asset for you to determine what will become of your children in the next 4 years, the kind of quality of health facilities that you're going to enjoy, and the schools that your children are going to attend in the next 4 years. We thank you once again for your time.
Thank you for having me.
That's the Pendulum this week. We thank you for watching. We'll be back again next time talking politics as usual on the program. I am Ajibola Ojashola. I'll see you then. Bye for now.